All right, so coming around is my fabulous husband. I do want to point out that I do have one. It's not just a figment of my imagination. For those of you that have seen me at other events, it's usually just me. So for after hours, things like this, I try to drag him out, but it's sometimes kind of hard because he does have a day job. And if it's not his day job and it's evening, then he's probably doing taxes. So again, this is Tim. My name is Sarah. We are with Honeybee Tax Solutions. And it's not in the name, but accounting is in there as well. These are our two children. The Sasquatch there is my son, Brandon. Ricky knows him. She had him in Scouts for a while. Caracazone was the scout name that he gave him, which in Spanish, because of his heritage, means loving, because that's what he is. The younger son is Layton, who obviously is completely enamored of the older son. He is almost 12 in 2 weeks and goes to Thomas Jefferson. He is smarter than we are, and he shows us regularly. So that is quite a challenge. Thomas Jefferson is probably the best place for him, except for the fact that he doesn't like to do homework. So it's an everyday challenge. Just a little bit of background on us. Tim, actually, first I want to let you guys know that we are going to play a game today.
Yes.
I have 2 prizes. One is this fabulous Honeybee Stuffy from Teddy Bear Mobile. We bought these, and for like $8 of the money that went for that is going directly to the Humane Society. So those were a fundraiser for them. The other prize I have is for the Clued Up game this weekend, Alice in Wonderland scavenger hunt based here in Joplin. So anytime I say the words honey, bee, or taxes, you raise your hand, shout out, whatever you want to do, and my 2 lovely assistants, Tim and Taylor, will bring you a bee charm. Whoever has the most, yes, Andy? What? I did? So Tim actually had had foot surgery yesterday, so he's gimping a little bit. So he's staying to this side. That's why Taylor is going to help on this side, so poor Tim doesn't have to run so much. Whoever has the top 2 of the charms gets to choose from either the bear or the game, and the second place will get whatever's left over. All right, so just so you know, Tim grew up here in Webb City. And when he was old enough, he entered the Army. He was, after several stations, he was eventually stationed at Fort Lewis in Washington. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest and eventually moved to Olympia, which is where the 2 of us met. Now, if you know anything about the Pacific Northwest, the cost of housing is astronomical out there. And we took a look at our finances and where we were on the pay scales, realized that how fast housing was going up and our incomes were not going to catch up, realized we were never going to be able to own our own home up there. So we succumbed to his mother's pleas to move back to Joplin. And within 3 years, we actually owned our own home. It was his home as a child. It's older, it's not the best, but guess what? It is so much better than renting in Washington. So that's how we got back here. When we did get back here, Tim started working for a local tax company. Within a couple of years, he was managing several of the offices. They realized very quickly that he was good at his job. So when they changed to a franchise, they eventually stopped doing business in Joplin. Tim was able to essentially put his name out, and a lot of the clients he had built a strong enough relationship with that they came and found him. So he started Honeybee Tax Solutions.
Anybody else want to be an assistant?
However, he did not have enough clients to keep him busy full year, so he did Still has a day job. He works as a case manager at the Joplin Housing Authority. So he likes to be a red cape. That'll come up again later. Let's see. Giggling over there. I listen to him giggle all the time. He's the kind of person that you're riding in the car and suddenly he's just over there. I'm like, what in the world are you laughing at? And then there's like this whole ADHD story that just goes down bunny trails, and I'm like, wait, what was the funny part again? He's still giggling. All right. So, about 2 years ago, I started working for a company in Pittsburgh that does bookkeeping and accounting and taxes. But in January of this year, we decided that we needed a change for our family, and I started as full-time employee. Notice that's an employee with Honeybee Tax Solutions. For the first time, we had a full-time employee, and that's where I am here trying to push the business into a new level where we can actually support both of us as full-time employees and also support our family without having to have those full-time jobs. So that's how the story began. Let's talk about what kind of brings our passions in. Again, Tim is a red cape. I have been forgetting to fall away. I get so excited. I forget to push the little button. So, as I said, Tim is what I call a red cape. His passion is helping other people. He feels most fulfilled when he is making sure that somebody else is having their needs met. He's doing what they can to help them. He enjoys building the relationships with his clients, building the trust so that they know that he's doing the best that he can for them, but also knowing that he's following the letter of the law so that they're not going to get long-term damage by not following the law. So it's that fine line. Some people want an accountant that will find the loopholes. Tim will find the gray area, but if you want to actually loop the hole, then he's probably not your guy. So it depends on what you want in a tax accountant. If you want somebody that's going to keep you going for the long term, he's probably the kind you want. For me, I don't like math. I don't like numbers, believe it or not. I do organization. I like building the relationships with clients. But what I found was that by being organized, having everything, knowing when it's supposed to happen, all I have to do is put the numbers into the software, and the software does the mapping for me.
Hold on. Question. Where does being count as the word be?
Sure. If you are listening well enough to catch me saying words like that, that is the goal of the whole game, is to keep you guys listening to me instead of zoning out. So, I do like to build the relationships where Tim builds those relationships on the shared business. I also enjoy finding what we have in common outside of the workplace. So I want to know about your kids. I want to know about your plans for the future, what's happened to you in the past, what brought you here. Altogether, that brings us to being involved in our community. We like to share our lives with the community. We want to be involved with our clients as well on whatever level is appropriate. So we, like I said, we are doing the fundraiser. We try to find other organizations to work with. We give a 25% discount to not-for-profits, nonprofits. For bookkeeping and payroll, I am trying to get on the board of a couple of not-for-profits, and essentially we want to be involved with you wherever we can. So, how does that relate to the business? Of course, the business, we are building those relationships with you, with the fact that we want to make sure that we're doing the right things for you. We can have continuing education. Keep in mind, because again, we want to be here. We are here for you all year round. If you have any questions, if you get a nasty gram from the IRS, we are here. We want to build that relationship with you and, of course, build that community engagement. So, what do we actually do? Of course, there is taxes, personal and business, including Schedule Cs, farms, 1120s. We do free consultations, so if you have anything that you're not sure, if you need our assistance, give us a call, we'll look it over, no problem. We do audit assistance if someone is wanting to look at your books. I want to clarify, we are not CPAs. However, we've been told that to do taxes, to do bookkeeping, CPA is not required. That's only required for if you need to be audited. Are you out of charms? Goodness, people. All right, I'm not sure. Of course, we do payroll. That means the processing of employee time cards and paychecks, filing and paying your payroll taxes, or we can just file and pay those payroll taxes for you without doing your payroll. We do direct deposit, email the checks, or print the actual checks and you can come pick them up. There are a plethora of ways for you to process your payroll with us, either giving us the information or us giving you the information. We do bookkeeping. Again, there's so many ways for you to give us the information and us to get it back. Let me let you know, we do have a secure Dropbox. So if you want to send us your bank statements or anything, we have a Dropbox, an electronic Dropbox that's secured through our software. So you don't have to worry about that. You can send us emails, but if you're more concerned about that security, we have that. So what makes us special? We do have a special feature for remote signing. You don't have to come in to sign for your taxes or your payroll, anything like that. We can do that digitally. We, as I said, we have that secure Dropbox, but I think the most important thing that a person's gonna get when they work with us is us. As I said, we wanna build that relationship. So when you're working with us, you're not gonna call an 800 number and just get whoever answers the phone. You're gonna get someone that knows about your account, your situation, what your needs are. And we wanna make sure that you are comfortable talking to us about everything. And again, then we know kind of everything that's going on in your lives. So when it comes to tax season, you have all the information ready and prepared. All right. So what we need from you is simply to help get to know us. As I said, we're trying to build our business. We're trying to be known in the community on both a business level and just on a personal level with those not-for-profits, with people. So come get to know us. Come have lunch with us, or at least with me. Maybe Tim, but at least with me. And then, of course, share our information around. If you hear someone say any of these things, gosh, I'm just so busy, I just can't get my payroll done. Did you know that I have heard of probably about 5 different managers of those little stop and go, come and go type places that they are having to do their payroll and work the floor, probably 3 different employee positions because they can't get employees. So they don't have time to do their own payroll and bookkeeping, and I can take that off of their plates and do that for them, which saves them a huge amount of time. So that's kind of one of our big things that we're looking for right now is those people that can't get other employees, so they need somebody to take something else off of their plate. If you would, this would be the other thing that you could do for us is to share your, go on our Facebook page, do a like, a review, go to Google, do a review. And of course, this also gets you to those places so you can more easily send our information to others. I want to point out that I did give the honeybees seed packets. These are good for 1 square foot to change your yard into pollinator-friendly flowers.
Cool.
It's the instructions are on there. It should be pretty easy. You can also do it into a pot. The reason we chose honeybees. I like you guys.
Great job.
Just so you know, the reason for the, I'm not doing it again, we're out of bees. We found that there are so many things that those bugs do to support our community, that it really is something that we want to emulate through I think my favorite fact is the fact that they go out, they do their job, they do it well, they share honey with their community. Dang it. There's some paper clips in there, I guess. Goodness sakes.
Hey, who has dogs? Who have dogs? Dogs? All right, then you probably know this one. If you don't, all gone.
It's a sign for children, but we've taught it to our dogs too, because otherwise they'll sit there for hours while you're just sitting there. So the game is over. Sorry. Honeybees do so much with taking care of their community, being members of their community. We like that side, but they also simply go out into the community and spread the pollen to make the flowers, to make the food that we eat. And they don't care that it helps us and doesn't do anything for them. They're just doing it. And we like that. That's something we really like. So I think I'm done. And again, thank you to Taylor and Tim for passing out the charms when I did so many words in there that I hadn't even anticipated. So, does everyone have at least one charm? Some people didn't play. Okay. Let's start with 5. Everyone that has 5 charms. Okay. 10 charms. Okay, 15. 20. 25. Okay, so we've got a first and a second.
I had 25 without his.
All right, so Miss Sarah Comer, who, by the way, has artfully, what is it? I suddenly forgot. It's
Gracefully managed.
gracefully managed. Thank
Okay,
you.
what are we trying to use?
Your business. I figure if I'm going to give something to you, I might as well say your full name and business. So, do you want the adorable honeybee that you've already seen at IMG, or do you want the ticket to the scavenger hunt this weekend?
I would love the honeybee for my son.
Aw, perfect.
All right. And I haven't actually met you enough to, I've seen you, but I don't know your name. Shannon Chu with Keller Williams. Nice to meet you. So you'll have to send me an email, and then I will send you the actual link. Thank you. Any questions then? Comments? Concerns? Ricky?
Tim's been doing my taxes for years and eons, and he keeps me out of trouble, and I really appreciate it. But the best thing Sarah ever did was a mom was teach Layton to say, "Pretty Ricky."
I saw somebody go up over here, didn't I?
We also call her Kiki.
Love your presentation. That was just fun and interactive. It was like watching a game show. So, on referrals, can you talk about that a little bit more? Is there an area of expertise that's more lasered in? Like if it's medical, doctor, or mechanics, or have you identified that yet in your business?
So for bookkeeping payroll,
Yes.
okay, so realistically, we can do any business that is probably, I'd say, less than 150 employees. I can do more than that, but at the same time, I have no interest in trying to compete with G&A. I'm afraid through my office, I'm not ready to start offering medical, those kinds of extra benefits. That's just not something I can do, where like G&A, the other big one in the area that I can't think of, those companies do that, and I don't feel the need to compete with them yet. We're gonna try and focus on building a smaller clientele of smaller, more homegrown businesses at the moment. And maybe we'll eventually get there, just not quite yet. Does that answer the question enough?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. I know, I probably moved that down so you can't hear as well, but I can like see it. It feels like it's like right there.
Very good job. Hey, so I'm just curious from the back end side, because that's what I do, but anyway, as far as like, if a business has QuickBooks or they have Xero or whatever, I mean, are you equipped to handle those different formats, or do you have your own and you put it in there, or how does that all work?
Absolutely. So right now we have a software called Drake that I can use that is no charge to you, but that also means that it is a closed software, so you can't see your books. I can give you monthly or quarterly P&L reports, but you won't have access to us. I can also use QuickBooks Online, which of course you pay for the software now, and that is something that you have access to at any time. The other softwares that are out there should be fairly similar. I am willing to look them over, but I would not be quite as familiar with them as I am with QuickBooks Online.
Cool. Thank you.
I also used him for my taxes this year, and it was a great experience, and mine were a little bit complicated, and he was kind and gracious and helped me think through a bunch of stuff. And also, I'm talking with Sarah about her doing bookkeeping for me. So I'm already in, but, whoa, hi.
That was a big one.
The question I have for you is, what you said there's several different ways we can communicate.
Yes.
And what are some of those ways that?
So Taylor knows for sure. We can text, we can email, you can call us for heaven's sakes. But the other way that I was mentioning is through either the software or either of the softwares both have drop boxes and note features where you can communicate directly with us or send us your information directly. So pretty much whatever way is most convenient for you, we'll talk back to you. Send us a message, we'll respond, I promise.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
So what are you doing to get your messaging out? Like I saw you have a website, I saw your Facebook page. What are the things that you're working on now?
So to be honest, we are trying to use the cheapest modes of advertising possible right now. So I am involved in ING. I have at least, we bought into one ING group and I go and visit the other ones when I can, go to after hours. The meeting people, again, to me, it's the building relationships I think is going to be what helps our business the most. So I've been shaking a lot of hands, trying to remember as many names as possible, but it doesn't always work. But then we have the Facebook. We are working to try to make sure that we have a regular posting on Facebook. I think those are the two main ways, is the person-to-person meeting, either at the business networking meetings like this, and then going and trying to get to know people personally on another level, and then a little bit on the Facebook.
Sure, I think that's great. One suggestion I have is maybe some personalized testimonies, like where you get people actually to stand in front of a camera, like Taylor, where we can say,
That's right.
oh, this
I had
person's
you on
been.
my list. I was supposed to have her do that. Yeah.
And then you can share those on your website, you can share those on Facebook.
Brilliant.
People who are in them would share them on their Facebook, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
that's my recommendation.
I need to get Taylor and Ricky in the office at the same time and they can videotape each other.
At the same time.
Right? Thank you. Anyone else? All right, well, I really want to appreciate everyone for coming today. There are fewer people here than I was hoping, so please take a couple more Danishes, because obviously, some of our family doesn't necessarily need them. My little will eat them happily, but I just really appreciate everyone coming and taking the time to give the feedback and listen and participate. And if you don't want your charms, I will take them back. They will go on the honeybee greeting cards that I make to send out to our referrals and stuff. So, but again, thank you.
Thank you.